Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Yoga on Ashley G Wellness. I'm Ashley, and today we are doing yoga for edema and fluid balance. Today's class is inspired by Chinese medicine Zhang Fu or organ theory. And if you haven't yet checked out my video on the San Jiao, the triple burner, please go and check that out here. I put an info card up somewhere here in the screen. So today's class is really focused on balancing the triple heater San Jiao. And so we're going to be focusing a lot on opening the entire torso, front, back, and sides. And the idea is to get chi or energy and blood flow and fluids all to flow more evenly and fluidly throughout the body. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Feel free to close your eyes or gaze at a point out in front of you and take a moment here just to connect with yourself. Noticing how you're feeling, how you're doing. Start by just taking a few slow rounds of deep, even breath. In through the nose, and either out through the nose or out with a sigh. Gently open your eyes. Stay seated, but feel free to switch the cross of your legs. And then take your hands to your thighs. We're going to do seated cat-cow. So go ahead and start to round your spine. Bring your chin toward your chest, tailbone forward. And then lift your sternum, move your shoulders back, lift your lower back in and up, lift your chin. And continue back and forth. I like to exhale on the round and inhale on the lengthen, but you do what feels best and natural for you. You can make your movements as big or small as you desire. Just really work the movement, work the breath. Try to link the two together. Great, now start to spin your torso, rotating to one direction, really widening your rib cage to the side you spin. And just keep your breath breathing. A few more. After your next one, switch directions. We're doing about 8. Just make sure you're pretty even on both of your sides. So however many you did on the other side, try to do the same amount on this side. Try to loosen up your spine, loosen up your body. All right, once you're all finished, come into downward facing dog. Push your arms and your legs longer. Really draw your rib cage toward your spine. Lift your shoulders up and push your inner thighs back, maybe heels to the floor. Feel free to stay still or bend and straighten one knee at a time. Walk your dog for the down dog jog. You can even rotate onto the outer edge of one foot, inner edge of the other, doing a little bit of a side stretch here. Just moving a little organically if you like. Really focusing on movement in the torso, most importantly, to get all that energy flowing more evenly. All right, we got some spinal rolls here. So Start to round your lower back and then shift forward into plank pose, rounding all the way up to the top. And then lift your head. Lower halfway down for chaturanga. And then lift your torso, press your tailbone forward, move your shoulders back for upward dog. Then try to roll vertebrae by vertebrae, hips up first, then start to push back, downward dog. Do that again, shift forward, round vertebrae by vertebrae, then lift your chin, and then come into a back bend. You can go into chaturanga or just straight into upward dog, and then downward dog. One more like that, shift forward, and hips low, lift up through your sternum, back to downward dog. Just take a few moments here to catch your breath if it got away from you. Step forward to the front of your mat, then take your feet as wide as your mat. Bend your knees a lot and just round your spine, hanging between your legs. You can stay here or hold on to your elbows with your hands. Maybe start to swing side to side, really getting some length on the back side of your body. Just deepen your breath here. Enjoy this inverted posture. Call this next one Prana Namaskar. You're gathering prana, gathering chi or energy. So bend your knees, place your hands on your hips. Inhale, stand up, then lift your arms up as you inhale with your breath. And as you exhale, slowly gather your prana, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, palms in front of heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, palms in front of your heart. Couple more, inhale, reach up. Exhale. Last one, reach up. Full breath. Exhale. Great, now inhale your arms up, bring your feet together, clasp your elbows, then pull up through your elbows, pull your rib cage back, lean your hips to one side and your torso just as much to the other side. Keep your breath flowing slowly, deeply, evenly. Inhale, reach back up. Switch the clasp of your arms so your other arm is on top. Then lean your hips to the other side, torso to the other side. Slow breathing. Inhale, reach back up through both fingers, and then exhale, fold forward, hands at the front of your mat. Then bend your knees. Step your left leg back to a lunge, and then keep your back heel lifting, or spin your back heel down for warrior one. Inhale, reach your arms up, push through your feet, rise tall, reach all the way out through your fingertips. Maybe sit a little deeper, but really focus lengthening from your hips to your armpits and lifting the front and back sides of your rib cage up. Lower your hands, step forward to step back, right foot back, either back heel up or down, lift your torso, inhale your arms up. Reach taller through your torso, out through your fingertips, and root through your feet. Lower your hands, step your right foot forward, and then just swivel on your feet so you face the long edge of your mat, and then step whatever foot has room to step to the side so you're in a wide-legged stance. Then from here, turn your toes in just a little so your heels are wider than your pinky toes and start to fold heart first, head last between your legs. Getting some more traction on your spine, lengthening through the top of your head. Again, lengthening your torso out of your hips, grounding through your feet. Pull your shoulders away from the floor and onto your back. Next inhale, lengthen your spine. Place your hands to your hips, shoulders back, and stand up. Take your arms wide to the side, turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee, Veerabhadrasana 2. Gaze beyond your right fingertips. Grow longer, torso out of hips. Lifting the front, back, and sides of your rib cage up. Stay long in your torso. Take your right forearm to your right thigh. Reach your left arm beyond your ear. Turn your torso more toward the ceiling. Side angle variation. Reverse warrior or radiant warrior. Take your left hand behind you, right arm beyond your ear, more of a side stretch than a back bend. And then sit a little deeper in your front leg. Lift a little more through your torso. And then slowly stand up, straighten your right leg, turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Veerabhadrasana 2, bend your knee. Widen your left knee to the left, push through your back leg and reach through your fingertips. Lift through your torso. Deepen your breath. Side angle prep, reach your right arm beyond your ear, left arm to your thigh, and turn your torso toward the ceiling as you root through your back foot. Radiant warrior, right hand to right thigh, left arm beyond your ear. Reach through your fingertips. Come back up. Turn your left toes in. We're going to put all that together into a flow. Turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee, warrior 2. Right forearm to thigh, left arm beyond your ear. Radiant warrior, reach up through your right arm. Then keep going back and forth. That's 1. We're going to do 5. 2. Go at your own pace. Feel free to end before you hit 5, always. Once you've done your 5, come back up to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg. Turn your right toes in, your left toes out. Bend your left knee, warrior 2. And side angle. Reverse warrior. Keep going with your breath. Back to warrior 2 when you finish. And straighten your leg. Turn your toes in. Bring your fingertips in front of your heart. Step or jump your feet together. And then come down onto your belly. Sphinx pose. Take your forearms underneath you so your elbows are under your shoulders. Fingers point forward. Push down through your entire forearms and then pull your shoulders gently back. You can lift and lower your hips just to make sure your flesh is even. Push through your hips into the floor. Pull your rib cage back and then start to lift your sternum, moving your inner shoulder back toward your outer shoulder, pulling your chin back. Lift the base of your skull away from your spine. Even though your head lifts up, look toward your nose tip. Then slowly lower down, flip onto your back. Bridge pumps. The pumping action really helps to move energy. That's why we've got so much movement going on today. So you could either have your elbows on the floor or grab the outer edges of your mat, or slide your arms underneath you, grab your fingers. One at a time, walk your shoulders in toward your spine so that your back, your upper spine is off the floor, just your shoulders and your head and your feet push down. Now from here you can stay and just hold bridge, or keeping everything the same in your upper body, pressing back into the floor, drop your hips, really stretch your abdomen out. Lift your hips back up and keep going back and forth. Remember not to hold your breath. And they don't have to be huge movements. You can do small ones, totally fine. Work where you are. After your next one, release your hands, take your hips to the floor, rest your knees together, your feet wide, take your hands on your abdomen, wherever comfortable. Take your arms out like saguaro cactus arms, backs of hands on the floor. Take your knees away from each other and then just let your knees fall and stagger to the left for a stag twist. You can also take your left foot to your right thigh, either solo foot or your left outer ankle onto your thigh. You can stay like this, pushing foot into leg, leg into foot, extending your knee toward the wall rather than the floor. Or grab your right wrist and pull up in the opposite direction, creating even more opening and stretch on the right front of your torso. Switch sides. Take your knees over to your right. Maybe cross your right foot on top of your left thigh and maybe grab your left wrist and pull up. Unhook your wrist on your foot. Come back up, hips to center. Let's do a happy baby. You can either opt for, one of my favorite variations is just to wrap your elbows behind your knees and let the weight of your arms do the work. Or you can grab outside your feet with your hands, push feet into hands, hands into feet. And either way, feel free to gently rock side to side on your back, really massaging those back muscles here, allowing your lower back to round off the floor. And if you like, you can work legs bent and straight back and forth or at the same time. Take your feet to the floor. And if you'd like, you can lift your shirt up and take your pants, roll them down just around your hip bones a little bit. We're going to do a little bit of a self massage. Pressure doesn't have to be anything super serious, just go light to medium pressure. You're going to take your fists, use your knuckles to gently dredge or pull up toward your rib cage, and then move them in toward each other just around the lower ribs, and then push them down toward your pubic bone. And then you're going to move them apart toward your outer or your hip bones, dredge them up the sides of your body. And then once you hit your middle of your torso, bring them in and then down together, the middle of your abdomen. You can do this as many times as you'd like. We're going to go for about 5. It's the number of the day. This here helps to drain any excess fluid in the abdominal cavity that might be hindering the proper flow of energy, or maybe caused by improper flow of energy in this region, in the San Jiao. This can be quite a calming and grounding exercise as well. Once you've finished, you can put your clothes back in place. Feel free to cover up if you need, and come down into Shavasana. Feel free to rest on your back, your belly, your side, legs up the wall, or seated. Feel free to take the allotted time I've placed at the end of this video to rest, or feel free to get up later or whenever you'd like. Thank you all so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.